This industry moves fast, and frankly, we need digital natives," the 30-year-old CEO explained, barely looking up from his laptop. "People who understand modern business culture. I'm sure you understand." I did understand. I understood that his company was hemorrhaging money and desperately needed an investor. By Friday, I owned 51% of his modern business. Before we begin, make sure to like and subscribe. And please tell us which city you're watching from, and whether you've faced a similar situation to my situation in the comments below. My name is Lily Wu. I'm 57 years old, and I live in Seattle, Washington. This story is about a funny yet educational experience I had last month. It all started with a job posting I saw on LinkedIn. A startup called TechFlow Solutions was looking for an operations director. The posting was very appealing, seeking experienced professional to join dynamic team and manage operations at our rapidly growing technology company. Normally, I wouldn't take such postings seriously, because I've been in business for 35 years and I'm not actively working anymore. But the company name in the posting caught my attention. TechFlow Solutions. I had heard this name before. I did some research. The company produced cloud-based data analysis solutions. Founded in 2019, it had 35 employees and had been experiencing serious financial difficulties for the past 2 years. Its CEO was a young man named Marcus Webb, 30 years old. What was interesting was that this company had applied to a technology fund that I was a shareholder in. 6 months ago, they had requested $2 million in investment, but our fund's analyst had written a report saying, "Management inexperienced, operational processes weak." That's when I decided to conduct a fun experiment. I prepared my resume. Of course, not my real resume, but a modified version. I emphasized my operational experience, but hid the companies I owned and my wealth. I described myself as an experienced operations specialist. I submitted my application and, surprisingly, they got back to me immediately. I was invited for an interview. When the interview day came, I deliberately dressed very plainly. An old but clean blazer, black pants, modest shoes. I made sure to present myself like an average retired woman. TechFlow Solutions' office was on the 3rd floor of a modern building in Capitol Hill. Open office concept, neon lights, motivational quotes on the walls. Typical startup atmosphere. The young girl at reception was a bit surprised when she saw me. "Are you Lily Wu? Are you here for the operations director position?" "Yes, I'm Lily. My appointment is at 2:00 p.m. The girl looked at her computer, then turned to me. "Of course. You can wait. You'll be meeting with Marcus." I sat in the waiting area. I observed the young employees around me, all 25, 35 years old, busy with their laptops, talking fast, constantly drinking coffee. After 15 minutes, Marcus Webb came. Tall, bearded, wearing jeans and a hoodie. Typical Silicon Valley CEO look. "Miss Wu, I'm Marcus. Welcome." We shook hands and walked toward his office. A few employees looked at us along the way, with expressions of, "What is this woman doing here?" on their faces. Marcus's office was small but stylishly decorated. Glass desk, modern chairs, success awards on the wall. "Please sit," he said, moving to his own chair. "I reviewed your resume. You have impressive experience." "Thank you. But frankly, this position is very dynamic. It requires quick decision-making, technology adaptation, working with a young team. How do you feel about these aspects?" The first discrimination had begun. "Does my age concern you, Marcus?" He was surprised, but quickly recovered. No, of course not. It's just, This sector moves very fast, and frankly, we need digital natives. People who understand modern business culture. I'm sure you understand. I smiled. I understand. Please continue. Marcus opened his laptop and started giving me a presentation about the company. We're a very innovative company. We produce disruptive technologies. We use agile methodology, remote work, hybrid model. For an hour, he poured out buzzwords: cloud computing, data analytics, machine learning, AI integration, as if he was reading a technology dictionary. Our company is showing exponential growth, he said proudly. We're targeting 300% growth this year. Great, I said. How were last year's financials? He paused. Well, startups, you know. In the early years, we experience investment-intensive periods. So you made a loss? Investment phase, he corrected. We're currently in talks for Series B round. I knew they hadn't been able to find investors for the past 6 months. I had access to the company's accounts because our fund had examined them during the due diligence process. The interview continued. Marcus told me about company culture, team-building activities, Friday beer hours. Our team is very tight, he said. We're all millennials and Gen Zers. We speak the same language. It might not be easy for you to adapt to this dynamic. Now he was openly discriminating. Marcus, I said in a calm voice, are you trying to tell me I'm not qualified for this position? No, of course not. It's just cultural fit is important. This position requires 60, 70-hour weeks. Weekend work, late-night meetings. Might this pace be challenging at your age? What age, Marcus? He became uncomfortable. What I mean is, you're very experienced, but maybe a consulting-type role might be more suitable. That's when I made my decision. It was time to teach this kid the truth. Marcus, let me ask you something. What was TechFlow's revenue last quarter? He was surprised. That's confidential information. $850,000. Previous quarter, $720,000. Annual burn rate, $8 million. Cash flow negative. Runway 8 months, correct? Marcus's face went white. How do you know this information? Because your company applied for investment to a fund I'm a shareholder in 6 months ago, and it was rejected. Which fund? I'm a major shareholder in several funds that reviewed your application. Marcus was struggling to breathe. I didn't know. I'm sorry. Marcus, you judged me because of my age. You thought I didn't understand modern business culture. But I've been working in this sector since before you were born. I stood up. Thank you for the job offer, but it's no longer necessary. Wait, please. Maybe we could discuss a partnership. Marcus, your company is in a very critical situation, but maybe there's a solution. He looked hopefully. Really? Yes, but this time I'll set the terms. The following Monday, I went to the TechFlow office with my lawyers. This time I wore a business suit and had a briefcase with me. Marcus and his team were waiting for us in the conference room. They all looked tense and worried. Gentlemen, I said, opening the meeting. I've brought an offer for TechFlow. I put the acquisition agreement on the table. I'm offering to buy 100% of your company for $3.2 million. There was complete silence in the room. Marcus stammered. But this is below our valuation. The deal was signed. TechFlow Solutions was now my company. My first job was to restructure operational processes. I cut unnecessary expenses, optimized workflows. 3 months later, the company started making profit for the first time. 6 months later, revenue doubled. Marcus now sees me as a mentor. He learns new things every day. Last week he told me, "Lily, I wish I had hired you that day." "Marcus," I said with a smile, "you couldn't have hired me, because now I'm your boss." Now TechFlow is one of Seattle's fastest-growing technology companies, and I, at 57, have started my new career.